There is slaughter in the markets, whether you're into Bitcoin, Ethereum or any other altcoin. I will try to give you my perspective on what's going on and what could be possible strategies from here. Of course, we start with Bitcoin. As you recall, Larsson Line flipped blue here on 13th December at around 49,000. And I'm not saying this to brag or to gloat on anyone. In fact, I wish that the tool sets had been wrong this time, that it wouldn't have worked, but here we are. It did continue down, unfortunately. And while I reduced my exposure, I'm also holding Bitcoin here. I'm also losing money. So if you feel that my tweets came off as haha, I was right and so on, bear in mind that I'm losing money too. I did not go to 0% exposure in Bitcoin and I probably never will. But I was still lucky. Reducing exposure here proved to be the right thing to do. But if you didn't have the same luck or you didn't have the access to this tool set, what to do here? Is now the time to cut it, or is now the time to buy, or what to do in this situation right now as I'm recording this on January 24th at 3:30 UTC. Often it's easier to eliminate bias by inverting the scale. So if we flip the chart upside down, in case you're considering selling here, would be the equivalent of considering buying here in the upside down inverted chart. And would this be a point to buy? No. It's not. This would look like a bottom here, while now we're in fact approaching resistance. And you don't buy just below resistance. Then you wait for a breakout, or you try to buy at the retracement back to support, or something. So with this small experiment, we see that from a technical analysis perspective, now is not the time to sell. The time to sell could have been at the blue flip at 49,000, but now we're at 33,900 and we've kind of missed it. But that's my situation. In case you have kind of screwed up here and invested money that you actually can't afford to lose, you're in a different situation because this can absolutely go lower from here. If we flip back to the normal chart and look at this consolidation chart formation here, as you remember, the top here was very skillfully orchestrated. The previous high was here, then they ran price well above that high to confirm a breakout, getting people to buy, and then boom, down. So in case something similar plays out on the downside, we should get something like this, like a dip well below support, shake out everyone, and then run it back up. So looking at where we are now, that's definitely a main scenario that I think could play out, and I will try to act on if it does. My only concern is in case it's too obvious. Everyone will realize this now, so maybe panic doesn't set in there. Because as of now, there still is not capitulation panic volume. Look at this reversal here. This bottom here, we had this volume. This top here, we had this volume. COVID dip, we had this volume. This reversal here, we had this volume peak. This bottom here, we had this volume peak. Where is the capitulation volume? It is still not here. That means like everyone is pretty much like me here, sitting watching, feeling comfortable, drinking coffee, not panicking yet. What would it take to get everyone to panic? Perhaps it's not enough to run it below 30k. Maybe you have to run it below 20k. Maybe you have to run it like this before people actually panic and sell. Capitulation volume, and then you run it back up. Perhaps that's nasty enough. So if you're sitting here leveraged or with money that you cannot afford to lose, it's a risky spot. It could very well go lower from here, even though that I think that one of the main scenarios is a turn slightly below 30k. Also looking at the fundamental perspective, I don't think that the Mt. Gox selling has even started yet. That's 100,000 plus coins, more than MicroStrategy owns, that will come out on the market, and as far as I know, it hasn't started yet. Or maybe it has, maybe that is some of the selling happening, I don't know, but there could definitely be more selling coming. Looking at Ethereum, against the US dollar, Larsson Line flipped blue here on the 3rd of January at about 3,800 something. Now we're at 2,267 as I'm recording this. But I think it's very difficult to analyze anything on this chart. Price now on any asset against the USD is not driven by fundamentals on that asset at all. It's driven by Bitcoin. So I think it's much easier to look at this chart to analyze Ethereum, and we see right away that we're back in this range that we've been in since May last year. BNB to BTC for some reason looks more stable than Ethereum. Look here, we are potentially breaking below this support line, or it could recover. We're hovering right around it. Cardano ADA as well, now slightly below this support line, but could be rounding error. It's been both up and down the past couple of days. Solana BTC, however, is interesting interesting here. I highlighted in my written report to people who have taken the course. If you are a member and you haven't got it, please check the email settings because I can't email you unless you have given permission for me to do so. There I highlighted that while we all expected an upside breakout of this range, we got the downside breakout. And sure enough, that continued. It covered the distance of this range. So that target has been met. And now, in fact, we're pretty much at this support level here. So for Solana fans, this is a logical point of reversal here. If this support breaks, well, there's more downside in the stars. If we zoom out on Bitcoin, this is pretty much where we are. This could be just a consolidation to digest the big run up that we had. This fine supports and we continue from here, but I don't think the market makers are going to make it easy for us. Today is not an inspiring update, but if I can leave you with one tip, that is to survive to trade another day. Crypto and blockchain is not going anywhere. Tomorrow I will be back with a very different video, so please like, subscribe and press the bell, otherwise YouTube will never notify you. Thank you, taxi, to Larsson out. Hej då!